What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham. You're watching the Idol Breakdown. I'm former runner-up of American Idol 10 years ago on Wednesday. So by the time you're watching this, 10 years and 2 days ago, I was announced first place loser, as my football coach likes to tell me, in American Idols, May 14th. And day before my birthday, by the way. So by the time you're watching this, I'll be 33 and a day old. So there's your trivia. Let's get started. The intro was lame. I thought they've been doing pretty good for the past couple of years at these little gimmicky intros, little skits and stuff. I thought this one was weird. And it was supposed to be a little weird, but I thought it was weird. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this. I'm happy when we got onto the singers, like Slater.
I would do for you. We stick together, we could see it through, 'cause you got a friend in.
Slater put on a suit, and they did his hair all fancy, gave us a look that we haven't seen, and then sang "You've Got a Friend in Me." I don't understand the connection between "You've Got a Friend in Me" and like suave Michael Bublé. Maybe it's because he said he did it in jazz band or something like that, or ensemble. Maybe they were tapping into that. I thought that was random. I wasn't mad at it. It just felt out of sorts. I didn't understand that connection. Dude was singing. Slater did great this episode on both songs. "You've Got a Friend in Me" and "Born to Be Wild." Picked great songs and was living in that rasp and that really juicy part of his voice. Sometimes in the past, he's sung songs that are good songs, but they don't really serve his voice well. And what I mean by that is they don't show why he's different than everybody else. These songs made me feel like he was singing them in a way that no one else on the show could have sung them. And no one else I can think of in my head could sing them. And so that's all I want to hear is him doing it. Otherwise, we're just listening to a singer sing the notes correctly. And that's how you really pick great songs and great arrangements, is with that goal in mind. Let me only think of you singing that song. And for both of these songs, "You've Got a Friend in Me" and "Born to Be Wild," all I can think of and all I want to hear is Slater sing those songs. Really good, especially on "Born to Be Wild. Was just a great job. Some of my favorite stuff I've seen of his, and a great way to go out. We say goodbye to Slater. I did not know who was going to go through. I thought any one of the five could win for sure, and someone's got to go home. So Slater was the one. The thing about people going home right now, in my opinion, you can't go out at a better time than this episode, because the next episode's the finale. And you're going to be on that too. Like, they're going to bring you back. So really the only thing you're missing is the notoriety, the title of winner or runner-up, and the extra opportunity to sing like full performances, like 2 or 3. I don't know how many they're going to do. And just kind of be in the spotlight a little longer. Big picture, the difference between 5 and 3 is almost nothing, in my opinion. Runner-up is something, and then winner, you're going to get signed to the contract, and you could also get signed if you're not the winner, by the way. Not just the winner is able to get signed. You can get signed to the same contract as the winner if you're second or third or fourth or fifth or even later than that, I think. I don't know the specifics nowadays, but the closer you get, the more likely you are to be signed. And many, just historically speaking, objectively speaking, many of the contestants of the winners who get signed try to find a way to get out as soon as they can. And I am pretty confident in that statement. There might be recent winners that are like, absolutely not. I don't want to leave this contract. I'm staying, and this is great. But I just know in my experience in the past, usually the next step is, okay, how do I get out of this? So if you can go right now where the exposure you're not really losing any exposure, you're literally coming back the next episode, and you rode this entire journey all the way to the end, I feel like this is the best place to go, because you're also less likely to get signed to that contract. So anyway, that's just how I feel about it. Slater is in a great position, and let's move on to John.
Necessities So Mother Nature's recipes, it brings the bare necessities of life.
John sings the bare necessities. He's got a nice voice, and this was a cool arrangement. This, like Carrie said, if there was a country version of Jungle Book, like that would be the soundtrack. I don't know who's responsible for that arrangement, but the starting off like dom 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 dom, like that country thing, and then picking it up, it's like a bigger tempo. It kept the same spirit of the original while being very, very much John, very much country. And he sounded great. This was just a great execution. Then he did the Muppets song.
Been half asleep, and have you heard voices? 'Cause I've heard him calling my name.
There were some pitch issues here and there for the first time that I can remember, and it was nice, but it wasn't one of his best. It doesn't matter that much because Bare Necessities was great, and he moves on to the final. There's not a lot of movement. I say not a lot. There's certainly some movement possible, but there's not a lot of movement that's going to happen with these last performances. Because these contestants, John especially, they have built their voting base over the past couple of months. And all of the performances that they've done, the dozens of times we've heard them sing. That's going to be the majority of what makes people vote or not vote. So performances now are just going to confirm. Are they going to sway people? I'm sure there are going to be some people that are swayed. But a performance that's less than fantastic is not a big deal, especially when you get to perform twice, and the first one was great. I think that's the case here with John. Thunderstorm.
Dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep.
He sings, "A dream is a wish your heart makes." He had some pitch issues here as well. He was just under a couple times. There were some really good moments, and I really liked the contrast and dynamic. When it went big, when it went soft, felt really natural and organic, and just, it was easy to follow that flow, and it told the story really well. Most of the time when people say, you want to tell a story, you want to tell a story, and then I'm also saying that all the time. The story is more than what you would think is in a story, like lyrically. That's part of it. But there's even a story to be told, like a narrative element in the dynamics of the melody and the harmony and the rhythm and the intensity of the song. And that's what we're looking for on top of the lyrical storytelling. And this is exactly what he did. Then the second song was sweet.
So sure we're headed, and you aren't long.
Well, the first half I was not super into, and then the second half was really impressive. He started doing this like hammer-on, smacking the guitar rhythm thing with a bunch of weird capos on that, which is really hard, and I had no idea that he could do that, but he was doing it really well. Most of the time when people can do that, that's like all they do. And it's cool. We've seen him play guitar in a standard way a bunch of times. And then he just throws this out. He's like, by the way, like all those cool things. So that was impressive. I love what Lionel said when he said, there's a way that you sing that is like, I want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to this, what I have to say. That's a great way to just put all of the, you got to tell a story, you got to mean it, you got to feel it, you got to believe it. I got to believe that you believe what you're singing and that you're going through the thing you're singing about, all that. It's a great way to just encapsulate that. And you need to look like you earnestly want to tell me this and you want me to hear what you have to say in this song. If you just think about that, you will take massive strides in your performance quality and execution, and Thunderstorm is kind of the king at that. And Jamal is as well in a lot of performances, probably most of his performances. Let's talk about Brianna.
Sorry, eternally, hugging and squeezing and kissing and pleasing together forever, whatever.
Starts with Everlasting Love, great song. I can see her thinking while she's singing almost the whole song, and her eyes go flat. And I'm not convinced at all she's even thinking about what the song means. she's just going through and it's a good song and it's fun, but it didn't suit her voice very well. A lot of quick staccato type stuff. Staccato means like bup, 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 quick stuff like that, instead of legato, which would be hey, that'd be legato. Staccato be hey, 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 stuff like that. So it's a lot of kissing and hugging and squeezing and that's all staccato stuff. And that doesn't suit, honestly, almost anyone's voice other than Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's probably the best staccato singer of all time. Brianna does more of the belting, legato, big, drawn-out, beautiful notes. That's her stuff. I didn't like this song choice for her. The second one, however, was beautiful, and I think it has to do, surely, with the ability for her to connect to this song. And I was talking to somebody about song choices, and they're saying, well, I need to pick the song that I relate to the most. Yes, but you don't have to relate to the song in order to do it naturally. We can all relate to any human emotion, any of it. We are all capable of all good. We are all capable of all evil. We are all capable of all things that humans have experienced. So even if she can't, even if you can't relate to what a song is saying specifically, you can get there. That's just the work to do. And she could have done that. In Everlasting Love, You'll Be in My Heart, she did not have to do so much work, because it's something that's very close to her, the idea of love, and especially a forever type love. You'll be in my heart always. The arrangement in the first half, I did not like. It felt like it was not telling a story dynamically. It was like, here's a power version of the first verse that felt really contrived, really pushed. And then like, let's back it way off and be soft. And then back in. That just felt contrived to me. That didn't feel natural. The beauty of this song is, don't stop your crying, it will be all right. Almost like someone is crying. How would you talk to them? Hey, stop your crying, it'll be all right. That kind of singing instead of, well, stop your crying, it will be all right. It's not exactly how she sang it. I'm exaggerating to prove a point, but that's kind of how the approach was a boof, powerful. And then, you'll be in my heart. I just don't think that's the right dynamic approach for that story, for what's happening in the song. It made us just feel wrong. Like it didn't fit. The second half though, exactly how it should be. She had her moments where it naturally went big and the background singers were singing their part, and then she could belt and do these ad-libs at a beautiful high falsetto, which really shows off something that she can do that probably nobody else can do on the show, which is always a good idea. If it would have just let that second half be the belting big stuff and let the first half be the super soft, sweet, heartbreaking melody of that song and like actually trying to cheer someone up from crying, that would have been monstrous. So that's my only complaint. Jamal.
Don't you know?
Jamal sings Ain't No Mountain High Enough. There are a lot of songs I'm like, these are movie songs, but I sang Sunday Morning because it was in the credits of Cheaper by the Dozen 2 from Movie Week. So I can't say much. It feels like this one, Jamal is just phoning it in. He's going through the motions. He's singing the right notes. I do not feel like he is in this song when he's singing it. The band is going nuts. They're murdering. The end was great. We had a moment or two where Jamal did some really impressive, beautiful, connected, heartfelt runs and riffs. And again, if it's not connected to the heart, then it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. But this was, and it felt great. The second song, Beauty and the Beast,
Ever as before, and ever just as sure as the sun will rise.
he was sandbagging us a bit. He was kind of like, man, I don't know, this is going to be the hardest thing. I just can't connect to this song at all. And then he starts to sing. And homie is locked all the way in. And such a beautiful arrangement. And it stayed true to the original and the power that it brings while giving Jamal one note added into the main chord of the song, the foundational chord of the song. So I'll show you. So it's usually like, till as old as time. Okay, foundational chord is right there. But for Jamal, they add one note, and it's a 7 of that chord, and you play it on guitar like this. You hear that that note right there when applied to the rest of the chord? It gives that like soul R&B. And he gives it, and they give that to him. So it's like, instead of till as old as time, instead it's this. Till as old as time. And they might have even put it there too. So like, till as old as time. Actually, I don't think they put it there. I think it's just that first one. This was one of my favorite performances from Jamal. This is in, if I had a top, I've said this before, but if I had a top like 7 performances of the whole season, Jamal would probably have 4 or 5 of them. And this would make it in there. Beautifully connected. There are beautiful chords that are in Disney songs that are slept on, because they're wrapped in so much nostalgia and the style of the singer. Till as old as time. We forget that that's a beautiful melody if you just sing it softly or in a more popular way of singing, of approaching it vocally. And that's what Jamal gives us. And then he really sinks his teeth in the end. This was gorgeous. I said I don't think many people can have a lot of movement in their voting. I think it's a very real possibility that this saved Jamal, because I think he was starting to drift back. He was front runner heavy when he sang Heal, I think. And then maybe the week after that, it was like, oh, it's the Jamal show. And then he started to just die back a little bit, and it wasn't connecting as much. And then other people started to come to the front. I was like, we're getting rid of all the just dynamic vocal powerhouse singers. Jamal's kind of fading quietly into the background, while John and Brianna and Slater and Thunderstorm, like everybody else, are coming to the front. And then he hits this song right before voting stops and just seizes the opportunity and comes right back to the front of the pack and shows us, oh, that's as good as anybody. That might be the best. He's the best performer on the show. And I do think that. I think he's the best performer on the show when it all comes together. And he reminded us of that right when it was time to vote, which was great for him. When I was messing around with that major 7, this chord right here, if you want to learn that stuff, if you're interested in that stuff, whether it's guitar or piano, I would love to show you. If it's on piano, I have music theory courses that show you exactly how to play that. That would be in music theory 2, that major 7 chord. Music theory 3 would be passing chords. So if I was going till as old as time, music theory 3 would teach you till as old as time, or till as old as time. All those different options. Theory 4 would be substitution chords, changing the chord. It would be like till as old as time, or till as old as time, instead of all these different options you can do. That's what music theory 1, 2, 3, and 4 is. So we have the final 3, and it's a nice little dynamic range of singers. We've got John, the country guy, the consistent, super professional, good old boy Louisiana dude. We've got Brianna, the Carrie Underwood type, big belting, great accuracy mom. And then we've got Jamal, the one who just breaks all of our hearts. When everything comes together, nobody beats Jamal from a vocal performance. Just the effect that he has on people when he sings, when it all comes together, nobody can touch him. The only question is, what do people value the most that are voting for these last contestants? Do they value how they feel after they hear them sing, Do they value who's the most talented singer, which is typically not the number one value? And that's the way in music business, by the way. Talent is a small part of the equation. You have to do so much more than that. Or do people value their perception of the contestant's character? Like, oh, John, he's just, you can tell he's just such a good kid. I just want it for him so bad. That is super motivational to vote. It's probably the most motivational thing. So what's it gonna be? Do we have John, the good old country, great professional, ready to go singer? Do we have Brianna, the also very accurate? All three of these people are professional and incredibly consistent. Do we have Brianna, the country / Christian, beautiful belting voice, falsetto powerhouse? Or do we have Jamal, the one who just croons us and breaks our hearts and turns us into puddles? My most popular course, Vocal Foundations. If you do this course, it's like 20 minutes long, maybe 25 minutes long. You go through it and your voice isn't noticeably better, ask for your money back and I'll give it to you. No questions asked. These are the things that I've found over 5 years of teaching that nobody knows and nobody does. And they are instant game changers. My top 3 is gonna be Jamal at number 1 because he affects me the most, and what I value the most is how I feel after I hear someone sing. Like I said, when he puts it all together, nobody can touch him. Then I've got Brianna at number 2 for me, and then John at number 3, and it's genuinely 100% the case of a genre preference more than it is a singer or my assessment of how they are or how good they are. I just love soul and R&B. That's what I sing. And that's what Jamal sings. And then next is like the Christian gospel stuff, which is very much Brianna. And then third would be on the scale would be country, and that's where John is. Any 3 of these people could win, and they would deserve it. I've been able to say that since like top 24, which is insane. Who do I think is gonna win? I think my guess on who's gonna win is gonna be John, because of the views he's getting on YouTube are apparently a lot more than everybody else. And I still think the most motivational thing for someone to vote for a contestant is their perceived character. Like, he's just such a good kid. Brianna's really got I mean, they all have that, but really John, good old country boy, loves his mom. We've seen a lot of heartfelt moments from him, and we feel very deeply connected to him. Maybe more than any other contestant. That's usually what's gonna win it. That's usually what's gonna drive people to vote like crazy. So we shall see. We've got the finale, and that means we only have one more Idol Breakdown video left. Lastly, I coach people when they do auditions. I've coached Josh King. I've coached Chase Beckham, former winner. Coach Philo one time. And I'd love to coach you. I'd love to prepare you for American Idol or for any big audition that you have coming up. Email me at lessons@clarkbeckham.com with audition coaching in the subject line, and we'll get you signed up. All right, guys. Finale time. See you then.